Alright, it's the beginning of day 3. Continues to be an unholy mess in here. So I've got kind of a channel cleared out for where the pipes are gonna go, and got the first panel down here. This panel took all day to make, to locate that drain, get everything notched out the way it's supposed to be. And there's no way I'm going to be able to put it in place with the camera on, so we'll come back and you'll get to see if I had joy or misery with that. And we'll see if it fits into this space right here. And then once I get that hardest piece in, hopefully the rest of it falls in like dominoes. So we'll see. Okay, day 3 is not off to an auspicious start. Trying to match up where these pipes are going to go on the back of this panel, which is incredibly difficult to maneuver in this room because it's so large. I realized that I have managed to put the vertical pipe at the wrong position. It needs to be several inches further over this way in order that the outlet will come out in line with the where it needs to line up for the other end of it right there. So how irritating. Well, not a huge deal. I'll just this was an old used piece anyway, so I'll just cut this off and move it over and attach it to the fortunately removable coupling there, and that'll move it over. That'll fix that part. And then here I'll cut it and splice in a piece. So not a disaster, but alright, the joys of construction. Alright, so here's what you do when you're stupid like me and you put your PVC together wrong and run out of fittings and you don't want to go to the store. So I'm going to take this half of a coupling, just a coupling like this one that I cut most of 1/2 off of and hit it with a little primer. And this one is an offcut piece which is got a piece of pipe already glued in it. So they do make fitting saver drill bits. They're expensive, but I don't know how well they work, but I might look into getting some. But anyway, the thing is, this won't have a huge amount of mechanical strength, but it'll have pretty good, I mean, it'll definitely hold for this like 100% non-pressure application, where literally all we're doing is just making a pathway for some water that'll have zero pressure on it at all. So we're going to go ahead and, especially in this case, we're going to make sure we cement up both sides. Yeah. Alright, let's see if I can do this. A little tough on camera, but anyway, I'm gonna literally just glue the coupling on like that, and like I said, it won't have the advantage that PVC has where it's mechanically pretty sound. Like if you put cement on PVC pipes and put them together tightly, it will pretty much hold water right away. And it will hold pressure very soon after that, as long as the pipes aren't still like pushing out of the fittings and stuff. Alright, so to bolster this situation, I'm also going to use, set that pipe down, I'm also going to use this vinyl tape that I have that I believe, I'm not sure what this tape was originally for. I think it was designed for making floor markings. But it is incredibly strong and sticky. It's the toughest tape I've ever encountered. Ah. Like for example, when you get a piece of it like this where you are trying to pull it off the roll and you let it touch itself, you could just forget about it. Okay. Let me try again. If I can cut off a piece of tape without ruining it. Okay. So with my really tough vinyl tape, I'm going to take care to lay it down on there flat, but to keep it really tight. It's kind of like a big, super tough electrical tape. So here's the thing. This fitting will be welded together inside of there. I'm just going to let the tape hold it where it feels like holding it. It will be welded inside eventually from the whatever. It'll probably be cured before we even get done with this. But even if it didn't, this tape would easily hold water in this situation. Like I could easily just cut a PVC pipe straight in half and butt up another piece and put that tape around it, and I would trust that to hold even moderate pressure for a pretty good time, because this is a really super durable tape. So anyway, we should be good there. So now I have a repaired elbow and we can move along with doing the rest of it. One thing that's fun is the way that the primer just like eats away the foam like the xenomorph blood. Kind of fun. Alright. Alright, you've seen people apply PVC primer before, so. Okay, now that we've got that sorted out with our Gordian concoction of pipes and tubes, I've got all the insulation and extra block of wood cleared out that I needed to get out of there. Now I'm going to see if I can perform the miracle of wheeling this panel around into position and sticking it in the hole. Well, wish me luck. Oh my god, that was like one of the nerviest things I've done in a long time. I just wedged this panel on edge in between that light and twisted it around this way where it's threatening to push the air conditioner off that way, and it's trapped along the edge of that blue box that way, and I just had to like squeeze it in there and get it around, but haven't managed to drop the air conditioner yet. So now let's keep going. Okay, tried to get this into position. There was a lot of screaming and cussing, and I broke off the pipe there. My stupid joint didn't work because I didn't let it dry, and I had to go buy a new elbow at the hardware store real quick. Oh, but I'm back, and I think we're finally ready to get this in there. I gotta get it stuck back in the pipe there, and then try to maneuver it into place and get it all nailed up there all by myself. So, well, let's see if we can get this to actually happen. Oh, wow. I know the emotional flavor of my videos is sometimes a little bit uneven, but damn, I was starting to sweat there a little bit, starting to cry a little bit. But got that piece in. All the trouble was due to that one pesky hole right there, and that one pesky outlet, and that outlet down there. But they're there. So this is a little sneak peek of what's to come. We're going to have this nice Nudo panel on there. It's got like a little pebbly surface, very similar to FRP on that particle board substrate. So that was probably the hardest piece. this, with all this and some outlets you don't see yet, is probably the next hardest piece. So here we go. Okay, I just got this panel trimmed to width and did a little layout based on my legend that I wrote for myself. We got a cutout for the electrical panel and for the extant light switch that is below it. And I have these, also these two dual gang boxes that I have right here that I'm going to put extra outlets in, so I'll have 4 more, or 8 more outlets actually in the space. And having that many holes makes me nervous, but it's not really that bad about the fitment because this one should fit fine. I mean, I measured it down from the top of the panel and measured it over from the side. It should work. Shouldn't be a problem. This one is located directly off of that one. I mean, we're just following a stud down here. Everything's mounted to the stud as it goes down, so we're just following it down. And that is, you know, mounted down there. So both of those pieces should fit. And if those pieces do, it doesn't really matter about these because these aren't mounted yet. So like, if these aren't in exactly the right place, I'll just move them wherever they need to go so that they fit. Of course, that also means I need to do the electrical work for that. So I guess I'll go get started. Alright, I'm just knocking out some of the electrical work here. I never have enough outlets in here, so I'm going to go ahead and put in these 4 duplex outlets here. I got to get that done before I put that last panel on there. I'm gonna, which one of these is 10, 12, 14, okay. So I'm gonna do a big no-no here and just use the stabs. I know the electricians out there are gonna hate me, but you know, they wouldn't put them on there if they didn't work. Like if there was any real issue with using them, then you know, people's houses burning down would have forced some kind of legislation or something like that. Anyway, for a really limited use thing here where I'm just putting little pumps into them and stuff like that, it's just no big deal really. Yeah, I've got it right in between. Alright, so what I like to do when I'm mounting these boxes, these boxes, when this particular type comes with a little tab right there, and what I tend to do is mount it with the tab where I want it and put a screw in it. Then I drive a couple of screws straight into the stud, which holds it better anyway and actually makes the box a lot more stable. And I just cut that piece off. And then there's nothing holding your panel out or anything while you're trying to deal with that. Okay, so at this point I can do all the wiring, but there's no reason to do it now. I can just go ahead and get that thing on, and then all of the wires that I need to be available from the front are available. So I'm going to pop this piece of insulation back in there. As a matter of fact, I just take the insulation and cut it with scissors like so. I'm just gonna eyeball a similar thing on the other side. Doop. Actually, that's a little better. Okay, so just gonna back in where it was. Lovely. Now, wires can hang out inside for the moment. Okay, now when we come back, hopefully I'll have that panel fitted in place, and hopefully it will fit all 4 of those items it has to fit around. Well, we'll see what happens. Alright, so every time I think I'm ready, I had forgotten this hole that I was going to need for the power supply for the lighting timer. And I forgot to do that little cutout for the little notch it's going to need there. And I also put 2 beads of caulk all the way down the side of this piece. Now I haven't test fitted that other piece. This is probably stupid to have done this at this point, but if it fits in, it'll be great, and hopefully that caulk will keep moisture out of that seam. Okay. Alright. Hopefully it'll be up when I get back. Woo! There it is. I got it on. Really had to fight it. But the good news is that the hole I wanted to come out real tight, which is this electrical box, came out real good because there's almost no lip on the cover that goes over it. So in order for it to look good, the box has to be really tight. Got the wire for the timer, got the auxiliary light, got the extra outlets going in there. I did this one came out a little bit high. You can see it's, or a little, you know, the hole was a little bit farther down than it needed to be. Had to make some adjustments. These I did take the screws out and move them down a little bit so they would fit in there, but man, it's hard to stand far enough back to see all of it at one time. But man, I'm closing in on the end of day 3 and I've only gotten 2 of the panels up, man. It's a job. Alright, well, time for a little electrical work and then moving on to the next one.